Hello, fellow TV and film fanatics. I'm Greg, and I make recommendations for the best TV shows and movies that you can check out from the comfort of your own home. And I love sports almost as much as I love great TV shows that you can sit down and binge. So I figured I'd talk about some of my favorite sports TV options. Now, as always, stop mindlessly scrolling, stop wasting your time. Let's jump in and check it out.
I shouldn't have this job. I should just be a crappy interior designer like all my shitty friends from high school. Oh, just too clean. Just smudge them up or something.
First up on our list today is a feel-good sports comedy with tons of laughs, and this is Running Point on Netflix. And this show follows Isla Gordon, played by Kate Hudson, who is a somewhat unconventional and chaotic new president of the Los Angeles Waves, which is this struggling NBA team. And despite her lack of traditional experience, Isla is thrown into the deep end and tasked with turning the team's future around. And as she navigates the world of professional basketball, this one blends on-court drama with off-court personal lives, exploring the hilarious challenges that she faces as she tries to assert her leadership, all while managing this dysfunctional and wild family that goes along with it. And I said this one last time I talked about this, and I'm gonna say it again, and it's still very cautiously, but this is a Ted Lasso type funny show. For most part, the characters are nice, normal people with tons of flaws, and they do end up in some of the craziest situations ever, but it's the kind of series that makes you smile with its heartwarming humor, and despite some absurd moments, it does remain deeply relatable, but they do a great job of balancing the comedy with just enough heart to make you root for all these different characters. And one of my favorite parts is the chemistry between the cast. It's definitely a highlight here for me, with Kate Hudson, who does bring a ton of charm and comedic timing to her role, but alongside her, you also have Brent Nasong, Scott MacArthur, Jay Ellis, and Max Greenfield, and each of their characters brings their own comedic flair to the show, giving the series a unique take on sports dramas, but focusing on the lighter, funnier aspects while diving into some serious character moments and the personal struggles that they're going through. And with it only being 10 episodes here in the first season, it is an easy binge, but know that it does have a renewal for a second season already, so it's perfect for anyone looking for a sports comedy with feel-good moments, plenty of laughs, and just the right amount of heart. This one is absolutely worth checking out.
This kid, he's a basketball phenom. But they'll be asking, can this grown man play at the next level?
We all trying to...
Next up on our list is another basketball option here, and this is the Apple TV Plus original series Swagger. This one takes on the high-pressure world of youth basketball, offering a gripping and authentic portrayal of the challenges faced by young athletes. And this one is inspired by experiences of the NBA superstar Kevin Durant, and the show focuses on 14-year-old Jace, who is a basketball prodigy, navigating the brutal competitive environments while balancing the complexities of his personal life. And this show surrounds him with a team of strong, multifaceted characters, and it explores the grind of youth sports that turns out to be much more professional than you think. And that goes along with the societal pressures on young athletes and a toll of ambition and dreams that sometimes fall short. And I did feel like this series did an amazing job bringing to life the intensity of the basketball world and the games and things like that. But to be honest, a lot of the intensity of this show comes to life as they delve deep into the social issues faced by these players, grounding a ton of its drama in real-world situations. One thing that I really appreciated about this one is it didn't shy away from some of the tougher topics that go along with this, addressing the struggles of families going through this that are trying to navigate this system that promises success, but again, often falls short. And the stellar performances do add another layer to this. They're relatable. They've got these cool characters, making the series both fun, intense, emotional. And this is another one where along the way, you do find yourself rooting for their success. So with 2 seasons ready to stream on Apple TV Plus already, it is a great option for fans of sports dramas who appreciate complex characters, intense basketball, and heartfelt character arcs.
We're the flash in the pan. And that's all we're ever gonna be. Until we beat the goddamn Celtics! Fuck Boston!
Let's move forward with yet another basketball option here on our list today and talk about the sports drama series on HBO Max. And this is Winning Time: The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty. And this series dives into the captivating world of the 1980s Los Angeles Lakers, which is one of the most iconic NBA teams in history. The show does follow the transformation of the Lakers from a struggling franchise into a global powerhouse, focusing a lot of their time on the larger-than-life personalities that really defined this team during its rise. At the heart of that story are the compelling portrayals of Magic Johnson, Jerry Buss, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And this series gives you a cool look at their ambitions, their rivalries, their personal lives as they navigate this intersection of sports, business, and entertainment. And one of the coolest elements in this series for me is the energetic and stylized production that they put into it, featuring an incredibly well-developed world along with dynamic visuals like fourth wall breaks, breaks and changing film stocks all the way through the series. And this does such a good job bringing this high energy era of 1980s basketball to life in a way that's both engaging and also visually striking. But alongside the basketball action, Winning Time actually delves into the personal dynamics of the players, coaches, team executives, which really showed the behind the scenes conflicts, business dealings, and relationships that were just as intense as the games themselves. And this is another one where the cast overall is great. They all really bring these iconic figures to life, but really Quincy Isaiah's performance as Magic Johnson stands way above the rest in my opinion. He does deliver a phenomenal performance and he's awesome on screen, but he looks so incredibly similar to the person that he is portraying, making it feel super real and very authentic. But I will say that Winning Time isn't without its criticisms. This series has drawn a lot of attention for its historical inaccuracies and some creative liberties that they've taken in this one, but it's a bold and entertaining exploration of basketball's evolution, combining humor, drama, high-stakes rivalries, which makes it a quality watch in my opinion.
Here's to God and football and good friends living large in Texas.
Clear eyes, full hearts.
This next pick here is my second favorite option on our list today and is one of my favorite TV shows of all time, and this is the sports drama series Friday Night Lights. This one here has earned a lasting place in television history for its authentic portrayal of small-town America, the high-stakes world of high school football in this area, and the deeply human stories that unfold on and off the field throughout the entirety of it. This show is set in the fictional town of Dillon, Texas, and it follows Coach Eric Taylor, played by Kyle Chandler, and his wife Tammy, played by Connie Britton, as they navigate the challenges of coaching a high-stakes high school football team while managing their own personal lives as well. And while football serves as a backdrop to this entire series, it transcends that genre quite a bit, delving into themes of family, ambition, race, economics, hardship, and the pressure to succeed in a town where football is literally their lives. And one of the best parts of this is its characters and their journeys, which are absolutely incredible. And you really feel for them throughout the entirety of the show, following along, rooting for them, rooting against them, whatever you decide. And again, the authentic and realistic portrayal of life in a small town is super cool in this show. It creates this super believable world that you get transported to, which makes you feel like you're ready to head down south. But probably one of my favorite things about this series is that it really tries to avoid a ton of typical cliches of teenage dramas, opting for more grounded storytelling that reflects the complexities of just real life. And then lastly, and honestly, it would be a disservice to you guys if I didn't at least mention the performances in this one. Kyle Chandler is outstanding. Connie Britton is amazing. And honestly, I could go on and on with pretty much every single cast member. You've got Zach Gilford, Taylor Kish, Amy Teagarden, Minka Kelly, Jesse Plemons, Gaius Charles, and later Michael B. Jordan in this one. And there are so many others that all shine in their roles as football players, coaches, or just the families who are all in on Panthers football while also dealing with the personal growth, family issues, and intense pressures of life in the spotlight at such a young age. So if you're looking for an unforgettable series, whether you're a sports fan or not, Friday Night Lights offers a rich, compelling experience that should absolutely be on your watch list.
Good Lord! Boom! Yo, it's times like this that I wish this was all fake.
Let's change the pace here and talk about a different type of sports show here, and this is the series Heels. And yes, this is another sports drama series, but this one takes you inside the intense world of professional wrestling. The show itself is set in a small town in Georgia and revolves around the Spade brothers, Jack and Ace, who run the family-owned Duffy Wrestling League. And while Jack, the older brother, is the tough, controlling, Ace is the charismatic face whose professional and personal struggles unfold in some compelling ways. And this one does blend the physicality of wrestling with rich family drama, offering a unique perspective on what it takes to make it in a world of indie wrestling. And the leads in this show, Stephen Amell as Jack and Alexander Ludwig as Ace, are both compelling to watch by themselves, but honestly, when they get together in this series, they are great. They have a super complicated relationship which can switch on a dime, and they have this crazy sibling rivalry that's just as intense behind the scenes as it is in the ring. And this drama just escalates and escalates as they delve into the complexities of their lives, their motivations, the business deals that provide a ton of emotional depth to balance out the in-ring action. And this is another one where I felt like the world that they built was an intriguing part that kept you engaged a lot of the time, taking you to another small town where this sport is very much entrenched in everything going on, and they fill this world up with engaging characters who are fun to follow along with, like Allison Luff as Stacy, Mary McCormick as Willie Day, and all of these supporting roles really do a good job filling out this world and building on the emotional stakes of the story itself. And while Heels has been praised for its compelling drama and gritty portrayals of wrestling, it might not be for everyone. It is a sports show, but it's really not in the traditional sense of what people envision when they say sports show. But it's an emotionally intense show. It delivers powerful performances and family dynamics, ambition, and sacrifices made in the pursuit of their dreams. So worth giving it a shot and checking it out for yourself.
Spencer James? Billy Baker, varsity coach, Beverly High. Hey! We can offer you something that Crenshaw can't.
Is that right?
A better education at a safer school.
Up next is one that is a bit more traditional here, and this is the series All-American. And this is another one on our list here today that does transcend the typical sports genre, combining the intensity of football with deep character-driven storytelling. And the series itself centers around Spencer James as a rising star from South Los Angeles who is recruited to play football at Beverly Hills High School. And this sets up a compelling contrast between his tough life in Crenshaw and the privilege of Beverly Hills. And the show uses football again as a backdrop to address a ton of pretty heavy social issues, and with 7 seasons, you have a ton to hop into and binge right away. And over its numerous seasons, this show dives super deep into its characters, developing them in so many different ways. You witness their growth, maturity, and how they navigate complex personal and societal challenges. And again, it goes way beyond sports context. Many of the characters face issues with family, friendship, love, identity, and honestly, mostly what they go through is usually pretty relatable. And they build this incredible spiderweb during these seasons of relationships between Spencer, his teammates, coaches, his family, and they all have these interesting dynamics together, some that you can catch on to pretty early and some that take time to develop. And this does all benefit from some strong performances from its ensemble cast. You've got Daniel Ezra as Spencer, but also Michael Evans Bailing, Samantha Logan, Tay Diggs, Cody Christian, and a ton of others throughout its 7 seasons. And with so many characters in this one to follow along with and how their stories evolve, it makes it really fun because you can attach yourself to different characters for different reasons, offering you moments of inspiration, heartbreak, redemption as they strive to overcome a ton of differing and varying hurdles. So All-American not only gives you gripping football action, but complex characters, thought-provoking themes, and relatable stories that is worth binging for both sports fans and drama enthusiasts alike.
Looking for a guy who could set the edge for you?
Spence.
She's still dreaming about laying people out?
Hold up, this the game that shows.
Another one of my favorites on our list here today is the HBO Max series Ballers. And this is a slick, entertaining sports series that dives into the world of professional football players, offering us a glimpse into the lavish yet complicated lives that they lead off the field. And this series here stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Spencer, who is this retired NFL player turned finance manager, and they explore the high pressures, the often tumultuous world of athletes navigating their careers, their contract, and even their personal finance struggles. And this is all set against the glamorous backdrop of Miami, Florida, where Ballers not only covers the lifestyle of pro athletes, but also their internal battles, including that financial mismanagement, the toll of career-ending injuries, and the transition to life after football, which is extremely intense and often quite heartbreaking. And one of the things that stands out to me in this series is how well they blended the comedy into the high-stakes drama that surrounds the subject matter. First, you have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who really brings it in this show. He's incredible. He has his usual magnetic charisma, but also drives the comedic elements too, with great wit, great timing with the other characters. But it's not all humor and lighthearted moments throughout this one. His character is deeply grounded in his attempts to mentor young athletes and help them manage their wealth and guide them through the complexities of life after sports, while also dealing with his own hardships and traumas too. This series does also tackle serious topics like CTE, family dynamics, and the pressures athletes face from the media, fans, and the personal relationships that get ruined because of it. And to add to the realism of this series, they do have tons of cameos from real-life NFL players, and this adds this really cool layer of authenticity. You've got names like Terrell Suggs, Jason Taylor, Don Shula, and Ndamukong Suh, Julian Edelman, and plenty of others to help fill out this fast-paced, flashy Miami setting. And I do like to be honest with my recommendations. This one here does focus a ton of its time on the flash and larger-than-life elements of this world, and that does occasionally take priority over some of the character development and even the story itself. And additionally, the lack of on-field action might be a smidge disappointing. I know it was for me. However, for those of you that enjoy a mix of humor, drama, and sports world intrigue, Ballers offers an engaging and binge-worthy experience.
I always figured that tea was just gonna taste like hot brown water. And you know what? I was right. Yeah, it's horrible.
No, thank you.
Welcome to England.
I said it before, I love sports and shows about sports, so there is a lot on this list here today that I really, really enjoy, but my next pick here, Ted Lasso, is by far my favorite. This is hands down, no question, and if you're going to watch something from our list today, this is the one to check out. It is honestly one of my favorite shows of all time, not just my favorite sports shows, and it's the only series I've ever talked about this many times on the channel so far, and I couldn't do a sports series list without including this one, and I'm honestly not changing much from the last time that I talked about this one, but here we go. This series here follows the larger-than-life character Ted Lasso, who is an American football coach who is hired to coach a struggling English soccer team, AFC Richmond. And despite having literally no experience with soccer, Ted's optimism and unwavering positivity helps him connect with the team and the community. And like many of the series on our list today, this one does blend humor and emotional moments together and just feel good in general, but honestly, I'm not sure that any of them do it as well as this show does. This show really is the definition of a heartwarming experience. The character Ted Lasso's optimistic and encouraging attitude through every interaction in his life is very powerful. It is one of the shows that just makes you feel good while you're watching it, and I constantly catch myself smiling after watching it maybe 1 or 2 or even 3 different times. Ted obviously is a great character, and he does hold the entire thing together, but there are so many strong performances around him that makes Sudeikis' character funnier and more inspirational, like Hannah Waddingham as AFC Richmond's owner Rebecca, Brett Goldstein's Roy Kent is my personal favorite, and so many others that deliver memorable and awesome moments throughout this show. And I cannot think of a performance or a character in this one that does not add to the enjoyment of the show for one reason or another. Okay, so enough with the sappy elements here. Ted Lasso also is extremely funny, leaning very heavily into cultural differences between America and English football, giving you a ton of truly hilarious fish out of water situations, not to mention the incredible dynamic that develops between all of these characters. With its strong characters and positive message, this series is absolutely worth a watch, and finally they greenlit a 4th season, so it is a perfect time to catch up.
We need to eliminate obstacles, find the breaking point, and when you smell blood, it's about recognizing that and going for the kill.
My next pick on our list here today is what I would consider a bit of a hidden gem here, and this is the gritty and hard-hitting series here, Kingdom. This one here dives deep into the world of mixed martial arts, offering an emotional and raw portrayal of life inside and outside the octagon. Kingdom is set in Venice, California, and the show focuses on Alvy, played by Frank Grillo, who is this former MMA fighter turned gym owner who is struggling to keep his business afloat while navigating his complicated relationship with his 2 sons. And at the heart of the Kingdom is a powerful family drama, exploring themes of addiction, betrayal, redemption, but also the emotional and physical toll of the MMA lifestyle. And yes, this one does deliver tons of hard-hitting fight scenes and brutal action moments, but it's the raw emotional depth, incredible characters, and complex family dynamics that really drive this story forward. And in really every way that I can describe, this series is intense. It offers a realistic look at the physical demands of MMA, with actors undergoing extensive training to deliver genuine fight sequences, and the characters they portray are often quite intense, especially Frank Grillo as Alvy, who delivers a powerful portrayal of this deeply flawed man who you can't help but root for, and he shines throughout this series. And you also have Nick Jonas, Matt Lauria, Natalie Martinez, all adding quality performances to the show, but really, and I said this last time I recommended this one, but Jonathan Tucker takes the cake in my eyes. He delivers an incredible performance as Jay, Alvy's really troubled older son, whose volatile nature and many struggles form a majority of the emotional core of the series, and he is just downright incredible as this character. But on the flip side, there is, like I said, the raw, hard-hitting action here. The show delivers, in my opinion, a realistic glimpse into not only the fights themselves, but the rigorous training, the brutal physical and mental demands of the sport. And it really offers no shortage of those brutal fight scenes either, both in and out of the octagon. And the show does not shy away from the dark side of this world that Kingdom brings to life, with street fights, drug violence, and even some gang-related conflicts throughout. So if you're a fan of raw, emotional dramas with powerful performances, incredible family dynamics, and a look into the world of MMA, Kingdom is a must-watch.
Your breakdown in the booth, like the original viral videos.
Do people just watch videos of the worst moments in my life and just laugh at my pain?
Yes. No.
Next up is the dark comedy series surrounding the world of minor league baseball, and this is Brockmire. And this is another title here I would probably put in the hidden gem realm, where it is a unique, often raunchy take on the sports world, but unforgettable performances by Hank Azaria make it worth checking out for yourself. This series follows Jim Brockmire, played by Azaria, who is a disgraced former Major League Baseball announcer whose career crumbled after a profanity-laced meltdown on air. Now, 10 years later, Brockmire is trying to rebuild his life and his career by calling minor league games for the Morristown Frackers, while also battling with his personal demons, which include addiction and a very complicated past. And the show itself does blend baseball commentary with absurd, colorful humor, and at times an emotional core, which tackles themes of redemption, loneliness, and regret. And it is a sports story that's just as much about Brockmire's self-destructive tendencies as it is about the sport that he announces for. And if you're like me and you enjoy dark comedy, this show is downright hilarious and often over the top in mostly the right ways. And Azaria's comedic timing is masterful as he delivers lines filled with profanity, wit, cynicism, both in the broadcast booth and in his personal relationship. And while the humor is what attracts many to this show, it does provide a surprisingly sad exploration of addiction and this man's endless road to redemption. And Azaria is not the only really funny cast member in this series. You do have Amanda Peet as the tough, no-nonsense team owner, and then Tyrell Jackson Williams as Brockmire's earnest intern, who both add quality chemistry and layers to the show. And this series here does have 4 seasons, and for many of the characters, it has a beginning, middle, and somewhat satisfying end, allowing you to witness Brockmire's full arc of self-destruction, attempts at sobriety, and even unexpected successes throughout. And I will say that the show goes in some very wild directions, but again, if you enjoy dark, witty, and memorable humor with an emotional redemption arc, Brockmire is a fun and easily enjoyable watch.
This was 19 years old. I changed the face of professional baseball.
Get fucking out!
Multi-million-dollar deals. Everyone wanted a piece of my shit.
Another baseball-themed dark comedy on our list here today is the Max series Eastbound and Down. And this one here revolves around one of television's most outrageous and memorable anti-heroes that I can think of, and this is Kenny Powers. Kenny is played by Danny McBride, who is this washed-up, narcissistic former baseball pitcher who has seen his career implode due to his own self-destructive behavior. And after losing everything, he returns to his small hometown in North Carolina, where he takes what he considers a humiliating job as a gym teacher at his old high school. But the show itself follows his delusional attempts to make a comeback as he clashes with his past mistakes, his complicated relationships, and his constant need for attention and adoration. And I know this type of show or humor is not for everyone, but if you do enjoy this style of humor and have not had the Kenny Powers experience, I will say definitely check this one out. It is wild. McBride's portrayal is a masterclass in comedy, and he brings this character's arrogance, vulgarity, and complete lack of self-awareness to life in the best way. And despite his despicable nature, Kenny Powers' unwavering confidence and outlandish behavior creates an odd sense of magnetism that keeps you fully invested in his redemption arc. And no matter how off the wall or downright idiotic he can be, you find yourself rooting for him all the time. And the show's humor is crude, often shocking, and unapologetically offensive, but honestly, I fully appreciated it, and it made me laugh out loud constantly because it really knows what it is and it's very unapologetic about it. And alongside McBride, the supporting cast includes Steve Little, Katie Mixon, Jody Hill, John Hawkes, all offering excellent performances, providing the perfect counters to Kenny's chaotic energy. And with a complete arc spanning 4 seasons, this is another one that gives you a satisfying, albeit dark and hilarious look at the life of this man trying to reclaim his glory. Whether or not he deserves it is pretty much up to you, but Eastbound and Down is a quality option to check out for yourself.
You're a 3-time world champion. If you can't stop, you better have a good reason.
Another title that I've talked about on this channel before is the powerful biodrama series on Netflix, and this is the series Senna. The series takes you through the life of one of Formula One's most iconic figures, and this is Ayrton Senna. And the 6-episode miniseries chronicles his early career, his rise to fame, and ultimately his tragic death at the 1994 San Marino Grand Prix. And they capture not only the adrenaline-filled racing action in this show, but they also delve deeply into Senna's personal life, exploring his relationships, the pressure that fame took on him, and his relentless drive to succeed. And one of the best parts of this show here is the authentic view of the racing legend himself, himself, blending dramatic moments with real-world context. And honestly, Gabriel Leone's performance as Senna is outstanding, and his performance has earned him praise for capturing this racer's intensity, charisma, and determination. And people in comments before have talked about this show and how Gabriel Leone's voice actually sounds very similar to Senna in real life too, which makes it more authentic for most. And if you are a big F1 fan, this one here does focus on Senna's fierce rivalry with Alain Prost, which defined a significant era in F1 history. But again, the racing moments are thrilling and they bring them to life in an awesome way. But the exploration of the human side of Senna is really what takes this series over the top. They go through his connection to his home country of Brazil, the toll that fame took on him again, and then his philanthropic efforts, which endeared him to fans worldwide. And I have read, like many shows, they did take some liberties with historical accuracy for the sake of drama in this one, but this is a small hiccup and an extremely compelling and engaging retelling of one of Formula One's greatest stories. So for anyone interested in a combination of fast-paced racing and deep personal drama, Senna should be at the top of your watch list.
Well, just yesterday in the locker room, we started telling the story about...
Shores your knockers! Let's head back to the completely ridiculous and absolutely over the top for our next pick here, and this is the cult classic Blue Mountain State. And for those of you that are unfamiliar with this title here, this is the wildly raunchy, explicit comedy series that is set in the fictional Blue Mountain State University and follows a group of college football players as they navigate the chaotic world of partying, hazing, and athletic glory. The show itself does focus on Alex Moran, who is this talented but very, very, very lazy backup quarterback, and his interaction with the hyper-masculine team captain, Thad Castle, as well as a host of eccentric teammates and dysfunctional coaching staff members. And like Eastbound and Down, this series is jam-packed to the brim with crude and unapologetic, outrageous characters that delivers a fantasy version of college football life where the party never stops. And if you follow the channel, you probably already know this, but I am a huge Alan Ritchson fan, and it really all started with the character Thad from Blue Mountain State here. He is a catalyst for a ton of the wild, absurd antics that this show is known for, and he's not technically the main character of the show, but his antics are legendary, ranging from outrageous hazing rituals into absurd party schemes, and this one thrives on its exaggerated portrayal of college life, where the stakes are always high and the consequences rarely follow anything that happens. And the show's episodic format is perfect for the casual binge watcher if that's what you're looking for, as each episode presents a new absurd predicament while maintaining this wild tone that the show is known for. Again, for those of you that have never seen it, if you close your eyes and think of raunchy college humor, this is exactly what you're going to get from this series. So if you like other titles like Animal House or American Pie, you will find plenty of laughs in Blue Mountain State. And if 3 seasons of the show is not enough for you, you can check out the fan-funded movie follow-up, Blue Mountain State: The Rise of Thadland. But if you're in the mood for a turn-off-your-brain, laugh-out-loud experience full of outrageousness and memorable characters, this one's definitely a perfect pick.
Seriously, Nat, I want that record, but like, there's an impossible amount of good-looking girls in Sudbury. I'll get him focused.
Let's continue on this ridiculous train and talk about the equally hilarious, raunchy, and outrageous sports comedy here, Shoresy. And this one here is a spin-off of the popular Canadian series Letterkenny and centers around the foul-mouthed, trash-talking hockey player Shoresy, who joins the Sudbury Bulldogs, which is a AAA team struggling with a losing streak. And in a desperate bid to turn the team around, Shoresy makes a bold bet to save them, leading to even more chaos, hilarious insults, and absurd locker room antics. And now, this show does have a subtle narrative that presents a surprisingly heartfelt underdog story, and at its core, it does have elements of community, loyalty, and the bond between these players, but if that's what you're looking for, this is probably not the show for you. It just happens to kind of be there. This here is a quirky, silly show, much like its predecessor Letterkenny, that is packed full of crude humor, ridiculous antics, and relentless chirp-serving trash talk. And Jared Kesso, who stars in this one, brings an incredible amount of wit to this role as Shoresy, perfectly capturing his loud, abrasive persona, and it is filled with tons of other quirky, memorable characters that work so well with him, and they all join in on the fun, the humor, and the laugh-out-loud moments. But very similar to Eastbound and Down and Blue Mountain State, you are getting a raw, unapologetic show that brings the larger-than-life hockey world to the screen with some on-ice action, but also tons of locker room dynamics. So if you were a fan of Letterkenny or enjoy fast-paced insults, quick wit, offbeat humor, this one is a fantastic binge-worthy choice that you can just hang out and watch.
This could either feel dinky or it could feel epic. So let's give them what?
Blood. Tits!
Storytelling. Storytelling.
Then last but not least on our list here today is the gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, better known as the series Glow. And this series is a critically acclaimed Netflix original that offers a unique blend of comedy, drama, set in the world of the 1980s professional wrestling scene. This one here follows Ruth Wilder, who is a struggling actress who finds a last chance at stardom when she joins a new women's wrestling league. And while the wrestling world provides plenty of physical action and campy fun, the series does delve deep into the lives of its diverse group of characters, highlighting their personal struggles, friendships, ambition. And like the last few on our list here today, this one is filled with sharp, witty humor, but this one here is perfectly balanced with its emotional depth, thanks to the standout performances from Alison Brie as Ruth, Betty Gilpin as Debbie, Mark Maron as their cynical yet surprisingly caring director. And I did love the world that Glow brought to life. It captures the vibrant 1980s aesthetic, from big hair and spandex to era's pop culture references popping up all over the place, providing a nostalgic backdrop for the show's personal and professional challenges. And the series does explore a lot of different themes throughout it, making it more than just a wrestling comedy. It does have character-driven moments that tackle complex societal issues that happen during this time, but a lot of this often happens through a very satirical lens. And although this one was canceled after its third season, leaving some of the stories unresolved, the series does have some awesome humor, heart, and exceptional performances in it. But if you're a fan of character-driven narratives, Glow is definitely worth adding to your watch list to check out for yourself. And that's going to do it for our list today, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us all the way to the end. If you don't mind, take a second to do all the YouTube stuff. Like, comment, subscribe. It does really help us out, and it does cost you nothing, but gets our recommendations out to others looking for their next binge-worthy option. So thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one.